Hi, Joe.
Hello, Suzy.
Have you gotten a grip yet?
I'm here to get a grip with you.
Well, let's go.
So, last Friday we talked about Rita.
We did.
And unfortunately the technology did not record any of our words.
Our wisdom.
None of it. And
all the ways we were going to tell people to get a grip.
And it was a good video too.
It was.
I was coming on a high driving home. Like, this was pretty good, and we conveyed a lot of information. But I guess we're going to have to do it again. So,
okay.
We talked about Rita last week.
We did.
And we talked about there's two Ritas in the world right now. There's Rita for nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
And there's Rita for clubs and, like, service organizations.
Yes.
And so the one we talked about last week was Rita for nonprofits.
That's right.
So we're going to talk about it again.
Okay.
And so nonprofits have a unique mission, and they have unique needs. And there's a lot of software out there that doesn't really check the boxes of things that a nonprofit needs with.
For example,
like just, recording contacts in your mailing list.
Yes.
A lot of times that's probably an Excel spreadsheet. It's
yes.
probably an Excel spreadsheet, let's be honest. Or talking about, we need to track donors and sponsors.
Yes, always.
And yes, there are some fine donor platforms out there, but then we try to sort of
merge them and make them work with other stuff?
Correct, and also try to make them what they're not.
Oh.
Because... these donor software programs are just there to track donations, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Only. Like, it's their job. It's like, okay, Suzy donated $25 to Nest.
Yes.
And so that gets recorded in this system. But that's the extent of what it does. Now, I'm broad brushing it, and I'm making a blanket judgment here. But there's other things besides tracking donations. It's like, how easy is it to get the history out of it, to know who are the people, let's say,
Well, what Suzy donated in terms of money, time,
yes,
contributions of bringing other people into the program, and other people who will donate, and what she does in the community.
Correct. And then what if Suzy does other things besides that? Suzy volunteers.
Yes.
Suzy's the head of a committee.
Yes.
Suzy sponsored an event.
Of course.
All those things, like, my words are escaping me on exactly how to say it, but Rita gives you this kind of overarching view.
So if you go in and type in Suzy Vance, you'll see everything she was involved in.
The day that she became a contact, all the times that she volunteered, all the times that she sponsored an event, all the times that she got an email from us, the times you donated.
And her address and her phone number
and her email.
And who she's connected with.
Yes, and people she's related to, because again, we're all 6 degrees separated from Kevin Bacon. We also then can see how many degrees of separation are we with Suzy Vance. Also, we can do all that from one screen. Because
from one program.
And from one program. Because what happens then when we run into a wall of a limitation, we go back to Excel. And we start doing we need to do a mailing list. Let's dump something to Excel and then start manipulating it. Don't need to do that. Because now you have all these different versions of the data. And now
in one place.
Yes, and it's just a mess then at this point. You have so much data, it's like, is it this one? Is it this one? Is it this? And then you start emailing.
And then, of course, there are all the people that you're collaborating with, and somebody updates it over here with something, and somebody updates it over here with something.
Correct.
And you never know which of the Excel spreadsheets is the current one.
That is correct. So instead of having all these separate little piles of data,
you get a grip.
You get a grip, and you have one source of truth in a system, and everybody just goes to that system. And the other cool thing about Rita is Rita lets you also integrate it with your public website. So somebody makes a donation on the website. Let's say, Anonymous gave $25. Bad example, but it's still worth it. That can be funneled right into Rita and be recorded. So your data is getting automatically updated. Your master data is getting automatically updated. and no one has to do data entry, no one has to key in, no one has to do any of that stuff. It's just the system just continues to grow and expand.
All by itself.
All by itself.
When you put the one thing in there.
Yeah, it just continues to grow, and then that's your source of truth for your organization. Because in a nonprofit and in a for-profit, your data is your biggest asset.
That's right.
That's your asset.
If it's gone, you're cooked.
Correct. And what's to say that Jane leaves in a blaze of glory, deletes all the files, and let's say one of those spreadsheets was the master donor record, and she's mad, and she's like, bloop, delete. Then what?
Right.
Seriously.
I know people that do that.
Unfortunately, I have known people to do that too.
Yeah.
And that just, as an IT professional for all these years, that are the things that give me like heart palpitations. That scares me like crazy.
Well, that is why we need you, Joe.
That's right.
But what we really need is you to migrate people to Rita.
Correct. And it also it's not just for the fundraising side of it too. Like, it'll do like your annual campaign. It'll track everything with an annual campaign. All you do is just open up the campaign, and there's like your...
So how did we do it last year? Okay, let's build on that.
Correct. And you don't have to sit and hunt for data. Like, it will sit there and tabulate, like, okay, we said that we want to raise $1 million. We're at $750,000. You just open the screen. There it is. Nothing to do besides just open it up and take a look. But then it goes beyond that, too, because I'm a process guy.
I know that.
I'm a process guy. It goes beyond that, too, where it starts to get into the operations of the organization, too. For, like, the things that that everyone struggles with or don't want to deal with.
Oh, give me an example.
Timekeeping.
Ooh.
Having to do time card tracking and time off tracking, that's part of it. And it's even down to a nifty little app. Purchase orders, that's a big one. Lots of places still have a paper form. Fill out the paper form, go hand it to someone, or it's some, weird, strange process that you could have it all within one place. And not to go off the deep end of saying like, oh, well, we need some kind of huge accounting system for that either. No, you don't. It's just, it's stuff about a vendor, what do you want to buy, who does it go to get approved? And it's just kept there forever in your system. So it gets into the operations side of things too. And again, process guy. So all the fundraising, grant tracking, event tracking, that's a big one too. There's a million things you have to do for events. People will get assigned activities. There's emails to send.
Well, you also want to know, last year, this organization provided the food, the widget, and what was it and how much did it cost? And you can go back there and see it.
Yes.
And you probably have some notes in there about how you liked it.
Absolutely.
How you didn't like it.
Absolutely.
And you'll know whether to go there again.
That's right. Yeah, and it's a great point to bring of like things that happened in the past. They're in there forever. You can go back and look at it. Oh, we had way too many complaints about the dessert, so don't do the dessert again.
Not that dessert.
Yeah, right. And
the one with chocolate, that would be good.
Yeah, the chocolate one's fine. But there's also like that history component of it too.
Yeah.
That you're not digging through files, you're not digging through Jane's spreadsheets because
you're wondering where the person left, who left, who has that information, and you can't find them.
Correct, and you give up because it was sitting in an email or it was sitting in a folder that nobody knows about. Or seriously,
yeah,
this happens all the time.
It does.
So, one place, put everyone together, have everyone collaborate in the system,
and when I die, it'll be there.
It's there. It's all there. The other thing, it's a little anecdote that I learned a long time ago. So I've been training on CRM and like sales systems for a long time. And at a conference I went to, the person said, as the takeaway of a session, they said, if it's not in CRM, it doesn't exist. And they were
CRM, for those who don't know.
Customer relationship management.
Thank you.
And salespeople are notorious for not wanting to keep their data up to date because they want to go sell, right? So the person giving the session said, That's what you have to tell them, because like the person will not be there forever. And you need to, when the next person comes in, you need to be able to give them, okay, here's what everything the person was working on.
Here's what Jack did.
Correct. So it's the same thing in the nonprofit world too. Like, here is everything that someone was working on. We have notes and records. We have data we can go back to, and it all helps in the short and the long term. It all helps.
Thank you for creating Rita.
You're welcome. Thank you for letting me endlessly talk about it.
I'm happy to hear every little nuance and new discovery you make.
I have an auxiliary brain in the car that I'll have to bring in, because there's more knowledge that can fit more knowledge than what can fit in this head right now.
Yes, but the bottom line is, if you use Rita, you will get a solid grip for your organization, right?
Absolutely.
Couldn't be better.
Yep. Now what do? Do we just end it like that? Or we end it like that? Like we could be all awkward, like, now what?